We've all been there, right? You're staring at that buffering wheel, or you get dropped from a super important video call, and you just feel that frustration of bad Wi-Fi. Now, we usually blame our router, maybe our internet provider, but what if I told you the real problem and, get this, the real solution is literally right next door? Let's dig into why your neighbors might just be the key to unlocking the Wi-Fi you've always wanted.
Now, just so you know where this is all coming from, this explainer is actually part 7 of a 10-part series. It's all based on a really detailed report by the experts over at RFI Detectives. We're diving deep into Chapter 7 today, which tackles a problem that, let's be honest, anyone in an apartment, a condo, or a townhome knows all too well: Wi-Fi that just won't cooperate.
So let's just get right to it. The big question. We live in this age of amazing, mind-blowing technology, so why on earth does your Wi-Fi still feel so flaky and unreliable? It's a pain we all share, for sure. But the answer, well, it's probably not what you think.
And look, this problem really escalates. It starts off as just an annoyance, your movie is buffering again. But then a critical work call drops. And then it gets serious. I mean, what happens when your smart lock won't open? Or your security cameras just go dark? All of a sudden, this isn't about convenience anymore. It's about your safety.
This really brings us to our first major point. We have got to start thinking about this differently. It's not just your problem, it's a shared problem. And the fallout goes way beyond being a little annoyed. We're talking about real, measurable harm.
So, the technical bad guy here, it has a name: Wi-Fi interference. The best way to think about it is like being in a super crowded room where everyone is trying to talk at the exact same time. It's just noise, right? When all our different Wi-Fi networks are basically shouting over each other in the same space, their signals just clash. And the result? Nobody can be heard clearly, and everyone's connection just tanks.
And that leads to this concept that the report calls the tragedy of the airwaves. It's a spin on that classic idea, the tragedy of the commons, where a shared resource, like a town pasture, gets totally destroyed because everyone acts in their own self-interest. With Wi-Fi, our shared pasture is the radio spectrum, and folks, we are clogging it up.
This chart really shows you how backward our thinking is on this. What's our gut instinct when the Wi-Fi is slow? Run out, buy a bigger, more powerful router, and crank that power level all the way to max. But the real solution is the complete opposite. It's about talking to our neighbors, coordinating, optimizing our power, and using different channels. It's about teamwork, not brute force.
And this quote from the report just hits the nail on the head. Listen to this. Your high-power router is not giving you better Wi-Fi. It is forcing all of your neighbors to wait for your transmissions, and their high-power routers are forcing you to wait for theirs. We're basically creating a digital traffic jam. Everyone's just trying to shout louder, and the result is absolute gridlock. Nobody gets anywhere.
So once you kind of wrap your head around that, the solution becomes obvious. It's all about cooperation. The technical fix for this stuff, it's been around for years. The real challenge here isn't about physics or engineering. It's a social problem. It's about getting everyone to work together.
It really just boils down to this. The problem? Too many Wi-Fi networks packed together, not talking to each other. The solution? A community-wide plan to coordinate. But it's this last column, the impact of doing nothing, that's what's truly alarming. We're talking about terrible performance, failing smart devices, and really serious security risks. The stakes here couldn't be higher.
And that brings us to what is maybe the most powerful argument for working together on this. This is not just about getting Netflix to load faster. This is a matter of public safety. Because when the systems we count on to keep our homes and our families safe start to fail, the consequences can be, well, they can be devastating.
I mean, just think about it. How many critical systems in your home now run on Wi-Fi? Your security cameras, your smart locks, those alarm sensors on your doors and windows, your video doorbell. Even your ability to make an emergency call might depend on it. All of these are incredibly vulnerable to the exact kind of interference we're talking about.
This next quote, man, it really makes you think. When Wi-Fi interference causes a security camera to go offline or a smart lock to become unresponsive, it is not merely a technology failure, it is a security breach waiting to be exploited. A camera going dark isn't a glitch. It's an opportunity for someone. A lock that won't respond isn't an inconvenience. It's a huge vulnerability.
And somehow, it gets even more serious. As more and more of us depend on Wi-Fi calling, a dropped 911 call isn't some weird, hypothetical scenario anymore. This is a real thing that can happen because of severe Wi-Fi interference. And the consequences, as the report says, can be life-threatening.
So the bottom line is this. Let's be crystal clear. Wi-Fi interference isn't just some techie problem for nerds to argue about online. It is a public safety issue, period, and it affects every single one of us living close to our neighbors.
Okay, I know that got a little heavy there, but let's finish on a positive note, because there absolutely is a clear path forward. And it's all about what we can achieve, what we can unlock when we decide to work together.
So what's the prize for all this cooperation? Check out these numbers. They're amazing. The report shows that a home struggling along with, say, 50 megabytes per second could realistically see speeds of 200 to 400 megabytes per second, maybe even more, after coordinating with their neighbors. That's a 4 to 8 times improvement, and you don't have to buy a single piece of new equipment or upgrade your plan.
And that brings us right to our final thought, which I think just sums this all up perfectly. Wi-Fi coordination is not about restricting anyone's freedom. It is about unlocking performance that uncoordinated chaos makes impossible. So the question isn't about the technology anymore. The question is for us. Are we ready to stop the chaos and start working together to unlock the performance and the safety that we all deserve?